So today I'm sharing what's in my little folder that I take when I book consulting rooms away from my usual place. I just take a folder and my remarkable tablet and a little brass bell. I've got a resource about the geology of anger. I don't like the anger iceberg. I find this is a bit more realistic, and that's available from my website free. When children say I don't know, if they're little, we can talk about what that might mean, and if they're older, we might be able to find out what's really going on by genuine responses like I'm not in the mood to discuss it. Sometimes clients have unmet needs which are making life pretty tough, and Russ Harris has this wonderful way of making sure people get to know what their values are and to see if their values can get ahead of the feelings now and then. So these kind of visual resources can be quite helpful. When I'm working with couples or a parent and an adolescent, I use the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and we have a bingo game, and if all 4 are happening all the time, well, it doesn't look so good. I have emotion wheels, some laminated and some I can give them as a piece of paper with the image on it. Same with the kimochis. They're probably the best one for children, and what I can often say is, you look pretty happy with that drawing. I'm wondering if you're feeling pleased or proud. What might be an emotion that you're feeling? And I don't know, I'll say things like, I'm sure proud's here somewhere, so we'll kind of do a where's Wally. And of course the inside out images are always helpful. I do something called the life journey work, so I have these printed out ready for people to create an image, like a vision board of their entire life, and use metaphors. I've got the wonderful template for the sailboat of life, which is a great intervention that can be brought into the first session, strength-based, as well as looking at worries in people's lives. And a few visuals for the fight, flight, freeze, for trauma response. A few poems. You never know when a poem might feel intuitively as the right thing. So lovely Rumi's Guest House, where he says, welcome all the emotions. And there's a beautiful Sumari healing song. While you were sleeping, all the cupboards of the earth were filled. Mother Earth sought out each need. A beautiful poem. I've given that to many mothers in particular. A poem I wrote when I was at my rock bottom in 1998. Newspaper articles are great. So a lovely one about this shot putter who found the stress interfering with his performance, and he found meditation was helpful. And that finger pointing, when someone's pointing the finger at their child or their partner or whatever, what 3 fingers are pointing back at them? What action could they take? That's also an image on my website. And this is a really nice poem for parents of adolescents. When I ask you to listen to me and you start giving advice, you have not done what I asked. I like the circles of influence, so I'll draw these 2 circles, and in the inner circle people can write down what they can influence or control, and in the outside circle what is beyond their influence and control. I think metaphors are really helpful to address tricky problems. So if there's problems around fighting with the siblings, and I've got the siblings in the room, maybe dads are in the room, and I'll say, well, has it ever got to catastrophic? And they all shake their heads and go, no. And I say, oh, how come? And then, of course, they usually say things, well, we actually love each other, So yeah, you know, I can't give you all the tips on how to use these things, but I'm just sharing what I use. So things about anxiety can be quite helpful. There's a lovely one here, Chester the Cat. And I don't hand out many resources because so much is available on the internet, but I normally have one for anxiety. This one I use when a family has separated. So I have a template, and I ask the child to write Dad's house on one house and Mum's house on the other, and draw a picture of who's there and what colour card does Dad have that, you know, goes between the two houses, and things like that. Children that have difficult dreams, I can just pull out a template and they can write down what the dreams are, or draw themselves being chased by the shark. And then there's a lot of fun actually using a photocopier to reduce the size. And that's another intervention. Some people come and say, oh, I think my love language is quality time, and my husband's is gifts, but that's not what I want. So again, it might not be something that I personally hold dear, but if a client comes, I'm prepared with some kind of things that we can at least use that are based on what they are interested in talking about. I find the hero's journey extremely relevant for many people's stories. So that's an image that's on my website, and it also can help when you're talking with someone who's got a favourite film, because the hero goes through suffering and isolation and sadness and fear, and so they themselves, the clients that come and see us, are also going through similar things to the hero. Yeah, a little yin-yang poem a beautiful 12-year-old wrote. Sometimes you're angry, but there's always some happiness. Sometimes you're happy, but there's always some sadness. Sometimes you're scared, but there's always some courage. Even in the dark night, there's always some bright light. I don't normally have a sheet that I would pull out for suicide risk assessment, but what happens is sometimes new counsellors need a little bit of guidance. So if you can write a list of things yourself, that can be helpful. I find this one quite a good one. It's probably not available as much anymore. It's from Relationships Australia. You know, a question such as, would you like to kill yourself here? Is that what your intention is? Or is your intention to go home and kill yourself? Do you want to do it in the family home? I mean, sometimes you think it's horrible. How would I ask these things? But if you've got a sense of what's possible to ask, then you can go there. Every situation is different. Do you want to avoid killing yourself? Will you accept my help? And those kind of things. So the other thing, just getting to the end now, is Prochaska's cycle of change. It used to be quite popular, but this also relates to the suicide risk, because you've got pre-contemplation is when perhaps someone's sliding into a depression. Contemplation is when they think, well, maybe I should kill myself. Preparation is, I'm going to Bunnings to get the rope, and so on. So you can use visuals to have these conversations, and make sure you've got lots of resources for adults around feelings, around needs, and around values. And please contact me if you would like to get copies of any of these.